your style. You know, I heard somebody
Exactly.
say, you can only be you, you know.
Yeah.
I used to have a guy that I worked with, and everybody like, this guy's an a-hole. But, you know, I
Yeah.
liked him. I said, I like him because that's just who he is. Like, the way he was when customers came in the store is
Yeah.
the exact way he was when they weren't in the store. He'd be
Oh.
like, one lady was like, hey, something X, Y, and Z. And he's like, no, that ain't your problem.
Yeah.
Potato Lays. She had a thing of potato Lays in her hand. He said, that's your problem.
and she was like, and she just accepted it?
Yeah, she just accepted it.
Oh, yeah. That guy like mastered himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's who he was.
He knew
though,
that was the exact right thing to say.
But let me tell you something. You can ask this guy like any question.
Yeah.
About what we were doing, and he would know it. Like he was the sharpest. Like he knew it to a T, front, backwards, sideways. You know, like nobody else could. Like, you know, I'm talking about just a real deal master. But some people weren't able to receive it. But I digress. The whole reason I said that is just like, man, you know, the turban and the headband. That's just you, man. You know, the spiritual guru in style.
There you go. The modern day mystic.
Brahman, what's happening? So we finally meet again, my friend.
We finally meet again, brother. You keep showing up to the same places I am, you know. I don't know what's going on. There's a master plan here. You know, something cosmic's going on.
There's definitely a master planner at work, man, and I'm happy to be a part of this whole thing. How's this week going for you?
Oh, the week's going pretty good. Been, you know, super productive, you know. I attribute a lot of that to kind of, you know, putting together a new morning routine for myself, you know. And I know, you know, today we wanted to talk about rituals and, you know, how rituals can define us. And, you know, we all have different rituals that we do every day. You know, we may not know that it's a ritual. You know, we get out of bed a certain way and you roll over and you put your slippers on, you go to the washroom, or, you know, you put the pot of coffee on, you know, whatever you do, they're all rituals. But, you know, we may not look at it that way. And, you know, I think the quality of our life and our satisfaction and our productivity comes from our rituals and how strong they are. What do you think?
I definitely think we are, you know, like we talked about last show, we definitely moved to a beat.
Yeah.
But those that are more intentional about the beat that they're moving to, which is what you call rituals, routines, habits, are going to be more successful at every aspect of life. So I definitely agree. Having routines and being intentional about the routines you have are extremely important.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you come home from work and your routine is you go to the fridge and you pull out a beer, you know what I mean? That's your routine. That's your after work routine. And, you know, there's a reason that you're doing it. Obviously, you're seeking something. It's a pattern you're in. And because of that ritual, you're going to go on to maybe, I don't know, most of the time do the same thing you do every night, because it's always the same ritual. You know what I mean? It sets you up. But, you know, what would you say that successful people do differently in rituals than unsuccessful people? And you can start in the morning. Like, what do you do? Like, what's your morning routine?
My morning routine. So before I go to bed, I kind of map out what I have to do for the day.
Yeah.
So when I wake up, I already know what has to be done, so I don't have to face that first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'll generally get it together, maybe organize my desk a little bit. With this current routine, you can just hop out of bed and then go to the office.
Yeah.
But and then you know, I'll kind of center myself, whether it's, you know, pray, meditate, you know, give me a little silence on, gather myself.
Yeah.
Then I'm working out a little bit. You know, I might listen to some instead of listening to music when I'm working out, I'll probably listen to some personal development or somebody I like. I might listen to the Brahman and Bruhman show, you know.
Oh yeah.
Just to kind of catch
Tune
up,
in.
because, you know, and that's not even really like self-promotion. You know, sometimes you'll say things in the moment, but you won't really get you know, you're not able to absorb the energy in the room until you go back and listen to it. So sometimes I'll listen to our show and let it resonate right when my mind, you know, because they say your mind frequency in the morning is more receptive. So I always try to
Yeah.
get some knowledge and some information in the morning. So what
Yeah,
about you?
definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Before I, talk about my morning routine, when you said the mind frequency is different in the morning, it's funny. I was just chatting to my wife about that, about morning routines today. And, I think what I say is in the morning, when you talk about that subconscious mind, that spiritual dimension, the infinite level, whatever it is, and just the conscious reality, like the conscious mind, in the morning there's a little bit of an overlap. So if this was kind of the subconscious and this was the conscious, they're kind of like this in the morning, overlapped
Mm,
on each other. So you have
mm,
access to that spiritual domain in the morning. There's an entry point available for you. So whatever you do in the morning is going to, to a certain degree program you from within, you know what I mean? So um yeah, when you
oh,
talk
yeah.
about that kind of the different vibration or different kind of level of the mind, I just want to speak to that. But my morning routine, um basically, like, I like to get up around, I don't get up the earliest. I get up around 6:30, you know what I mean, sometimes 6 o'clock. So I'll get up at 6:30 and roll out of bed, and I will put a pot of coffee on and go and brush my teeth and whatnot. So that'll all kind of getting up and getting ready. That'll all be about like 20 to 25 minutes. And from there, I will make myself a cup of coffee, and at that time, I'll read for about at least half an hour, something motivational, inspiring. You know what I mean? It could be business. I don't really read pure spiritual stuff in the morning. I do that in the evening. So I read, and then after that, I'll meditate. So I'll put the book away, and 20, 25 minutes of just silence, stillness, meditating, going into that inner dimension, maybe planning out, visualizing some of my day, planning out that, whatnot. Um, then after that, I'll do about 20 to 25 minutes of exercise. And usually it's biking. I'll go bike around the neighborhood. So you could reduce it down to, like, and other people have said this before. I think Robin Sharma said it, the 20-20-20 routine. And my 20 is 20 minutes reading, 20 minutes meditating, 20 minutes exercise. And after that, I feel like I'm vibrating at a very high level, more than most people would be at that time, because everybody is kind of, maybe they're vibrating at this level. And when you do that much activity, you're like in midday form in the morning. So that's my morning routine.
I can't quote it right off. Hold on one second. But let me see if I can find it real fast. There's this. I had posted it online, but I think Bruce Lee said he ran in the morning. It felt like meditation to him.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is, right here. Let me see. In the morning, Bruce Lee used jogging like a meditation to kind of get in that zone.
Yeah.
But so what makes me think of Bruce Lee, because you got to experience, just a professional martial arts master. And when you're a master, things kind of slow down for you. You know, you you watch the MMA, right?
I
To
do.
you, that goes right really fast, right? Extremely fast, right? Boom, 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 and it's fast, right?
Yeah.
But to a master and somebody that really is slow, it's slower. It's going fast. Okay, he's doing this. He's moving this way. Boom, he's doing this, and I feel like that is what mastering a daily routine allows you to do. There's something always going to be attacking you, whether it be the task or a day, whether it's something that's coming from, you know, wherever. Sometimes we get things to say, where did that come from? But when you can get in a daily routine, everything comes so much slower and you're ready and prepared for it. It's almost like you're exercising the mind so you're ready for whatever comes your way.
You're
And you
taking
could
it, you're
tell,
letting it take you.
yeah, and you could tell, you know, I know I can. You can tell the people that don't meditate, because it seems like, when you talk to them, it seems like supreme chaos. I actually talked to, for real, man. I actually talked to a lady today, and I mean, it was just the most chaos 2 hours, and we didn't even talk about what the hell we intended to talk about,
Yeah.
you know? So it's like, you know, and it was a great conversation, but the purpose of the conversation was lost because that mind wasn't gathered. And I've told this person, I said, hey, you probably need to meditate and pray in the morning, you know, so you can kind
Yeah.
of bring everything in and you're ready for the day, you know. So
Yeah, no, like to your point there, people who do not practice some type of mindfulness, they experience a lot of mental chatter. We talked about the kind of the iPhone analogy where you've got, or the Android, sorry, I don't want to be impartial, where you've got all the different tabs open, when you go to load an app, the app doesn't load, you go to check your tabs, you've got like 20 tabs open, and you go and close them all. So, when you're not practicing mindfulness, all these different conversations are open, and guess what? Whatever's in your mind, that's what's going to happen in reality. So now you're expressing it, you're verbalizing those
yes,
voices. You know what I mean?
yes.
Yeah, no.
You're speaking that chaos into existence. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
you are. Um, there's an interesting saying. I love the saying. It's like an undisciplined life is not worth living. It might be, you know, oftentimes they give these sayings, give credit to sayings to someone that is only repeating what they have heard. So I won't say who they said it, but it's the truth. It's a universal jewel. An undisciplined life is unworth living. Not that someone should just end their life, but you're not living life to the fullest
That's
potential.
the whole thing. Yeah, you're not living to your highest potential. It's like, you know, you could have been so much more, but you chose to take the easy route of just being a slave to your desires. And that's kind of the thing. And when you're like that, you've got some bad rituals, But just coming back to the morning rituals, we talked about what a successful morning routine would be. What's an unsuccessful morning routine in your point of view?
The lady I was just talking about. You know,
Yeah.
she's. I mean, you get up and you just go get to running. You know, like as a businessman, woman, whatever you do, you know what your day gym is gonna be like.
Yeah.
So you get up, if you were to hop out that bed and just get to running, can you imagine every single day until you're 60 or 80? I mean, it's just a life that's not really enjoyable. But if you're able to slow it down, the late great legendary brother Kobe Bryant,
Yes.
I seen an interview with him, very disciplined individual.
Oh
I seen
yeah.
an interview with him, and I think it was about a year ago. So this interview is probably, you know, maybe right before his passing. And he talks about the two most important things to him. And you're going to like this. Uh, one was meditation. You know,
Yeah.
meditation. He said, if I can meditate
Visualization.
5-10 minutes
Yeah.
of the day, then it's just so much. He said, because he would go out to the floor and he would do everything that he had practiced,
Mm-hmm.
but he said it just wouldn't go, wouldn't flow. He said, but I've been practicing things. So just practice don't make perfect.
No.
Practice make you good at practice. That's about it. You're a good
We're talking
practicer.
about practice.
Yeah, you're a good person that practices. But you know, him meditating and visualizing, and then that made him ready for the game. He was able to go
Programming the
programming,
body, programming
programming.
the software, right? Now the commands are coming from within. You're not, just hoping that your body's going to perform at that moment. But yeah, Kobe Bryant, talking about successful people, and they are very disciplined, and a lot of people said, well, Kobe wasn't exactly a nice guy. Oh, Jordan wasn't exactly a nice guy. All these successful people, Steve Jobs wasn't a nice guy, Elon Musk isn't a nice guy. You know what I mean?
They're
Why
vision
is it?
driven. They're vision driven. You can't see their vision, you know, until it's all over. You know, like there's a saying, the master teacher said this: a king is only honored when he's away from home. You know, so while I'm doing my work, I'm not going to be honored. You know,
Yeah.
why Kobe was not honored while he was on this planet. He really wasn't. Like we took him for granted. He's a star because we had Michael, and then after Kobe seemed to be mimicking Michael. Then LeBron came. He's the
Yeah.
king, and they're talking about who's better, the king or the GOAT, MJ.
Yeah.
But it's like we forgot about Kobe. So he wasn't honored. But if we go back and analyze this guy's life and we really look at this man was so focused and zoned out.
Yeah.
And he was, we know when you hop on that basketball floor, what is the ultimate goal? What are these guys trying to do? Are they trying to be liked, or are they trying to win a championship? You see?
Got it. So can you have both? Can you be liked and be the greatest at what you did?
You definitely can, but it takes for you to take the people on the journey with you. If they don't understand your vision, then you're not going to be. I mean, he was liked. I mean, he was loved, but his city really loved him more than anything. LA really loved him. And other people began to take on his practices when they were able to see, oh, this is what this guy's doing. Prime example, another sports icon, Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
We honor, Muhammad Ali,
Mm-hmm.
But why are we honoring him? Because he wasn't really appreciated in his time. He came in the 60s, which is a lot of turmoil in America at that time. He's an African-American man, and he has a sense of self-pride and self-image, so I am. How much meditating and praying do you think he did to get to his vision and that discipline, that self-discipline?
Yeah.
Because if he is mirroring back what society had gave him, does he become the heavyweight champion? If he just hopping out of bed and going right into his daily routine.
That's a great way of putting it.
So, yeah.
You've got to set your own rhythm.
You got to set your own rhythm, man.
With rituals, So how about your work rituals, Like, is there anything you do to get yourself ready for work? Is that your morning routine? Do you have like a more of a midday ritual? Like, how does that work?
Well, like I said, I plan my day out the day before. You got to be ready for battle.
Yeah.
The art of war, you got to be ready for war early in the morning. So I got my no excuse mindset planner where I write all my stuff down, So I'll write my day down. And then on the other side of my journal, I write down all the stuff that I want to achieve during the week. So if I complete, because I work for myself. So once I complete this list of tasks, then I'm going through my stuff for the week and seeing how much of that I can knock out. Then I'm also say, hey, what tasks on this side of the list can I give to somebody else? That's a way. It's a waste for time for me to do it, but they can do it. So just being prepared for battle. A battle is coming every day. I forget what tradition that the mythology is that every time the sun goes down, the sun is going to fight. The sun, I forget the name of the sun in this particular tradition.
Yeah,
it's going to fight darkness, and then when the sun rises, it has defeated darkness, and that's a continual battle every day. But
that's a good way of looking at it.
Those mythologies are only to explain what goes on a personal level and a spiritual level with you. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So you are going through a battle every day. Will you lose that battle? If you hop out of bed, like we talked about the previous show, you're beaten to somebody else's rhythm. You just hop out of bed and get to running. Oh,
You're
get to running.
The bull's chasing you. You got to
grab the bull by the
horns.
You got to grab the bull by the horn. You ever played? There was a game a long time ago. It's called Leapfrog.
Oh, that was a while ago, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a while ago. But Leapfrog, you could jump across. So you'd be pretty good at it if you just go right into it. But it forced you to hesitate and look at the traffic coming your way. And that's what morning rituals force you to do. It forces you to be still and get ready for the battle.
It does. And it sets the vibration for your day. Like we talked about on the last couple of episodes, we're made of sound. We're made of vibration. You don't want to wake up with a messy vibration and take that throughout the day. You know what I mean? You want to be vibrating at the highest possible frequency.
Yeah.
And program your spiritual dimension with that, the morning routine is undoubtedly the single most like crucial item you can
Powerful.
have. If you get up in the morning and you get into a fight with your wife, or you get into a fender bender on the way to work, or just get a bad phone call, oh, we've all been there. Your whole day is sidetracked by that one thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I've had people come to me, and I had a girl come to me. She was dealing with depression, and we pretty much got it out of her system.
Yeah,
And
it's awesome.
um, got it out of her system. And then one day she comes in and she tells me, I'm depressed,
Yeah.
right? So I said, why? She said, I woke up feeling like that. So literally, which is human. It's
Yeah.
part of human experience. You woke up feeling a certain type of way, but you didn't have anything set in place to fight back. Oh,
No.
I feel sad. You ever woke up feeling sad? You say, I don't even know why I feel sad. It just was in the air. I'm not gonna roll with it. I'm like, that's fake.
Yeah.
And then you change your day. But you have to, but with morning rituals, say, oh, I don't feel. You think everybody feels 100% and motivated? No, but I'm gonna constantly get there.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. And Tony Robbins is big on that one, knowing how to change your state. You know what I mean? Like, you got to change your state before anything you do to be effective at it. I used to think, just like, what you talked about before many years ago, that you can just jump into something. You can just wake up and go to class, you know what I mean? Or you can just start lifting weights without doing cardio to warm up, or you can just start making sales calls, without any type of routine. But you've always got to prime yourself if you really want to be effective. And, I think one of the main things that really made the difference with me was, exactly what you're saying, planning ahead of time, but really getting routines and rituals that will help me accelerate when it comes time to perform. You know what I mean? Just going back to Jordan and Kobe and them, these guys would show up to practice hours before practice even started. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're just, by the time practice starts, they're ready for the game. They're at
You're ready
game
for the game.
level in the practice.
I,
And
and I
when the
love that
game
you.
comes around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's no cheating, is there?
There's no
You know what I
cheating.
mean?
Yeah, there's no cheating it. And that's twofold because everybody goes to practice, don't they? Everybody in the NBA and the NCAA, they go to practice, don't they?
Everybody goes to practice.
Everybody goes to practice. But the champions,
Mm-hmm.
you see, they're playing a different game.
Yeah.
You see, you playing just like people, you just wake up and get to running. You just wanted to be a co-star in somebody else's
It's
movie.
going to be miserable.
Gonna be miserable. There's no other way around it. And if you're not miserable, you're just running too miserable. That's why people that wake up and they have a midlife crisis. What have I been doing on my whole life? You've been running to somebody else's rhythm. So,
Yes.
but them guys, they said, hey, man, I don't wanna just play. I wanna be the best. And not only do I want to be the best, them guys winning 5 and 6 championships, man, that's just a different level. I don't want to just Muhammad Ali, 3 championships. Another guy that we haven't talked about, Bill Russell,
Mm-hmm.
11 championships.
Man.
11.
Yeah.
Just think of the level of discipline. Very humble, quiet. Sometimes people misinterpret quiet people. Oh, he's not talking, he's cocky. Why? Maybe he's focused.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's so set on his vision and on his target that foolishness and them jokes, they just really he don't hear them. He's tuned into a different frequency. And
Yeah.
you know,
Silence is power.
oh yeah.
You got to know how to use the silence. If you're talking, talking, talking all the time, you're going to drown them out. People are going to stop paying attention to you.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll say, how many guys say, oh, I'm the best in the NBA? You got 6, you got 11, I'm the best.
Yeah.
Many guys think that. Many guys probably said that in high school, college, and they don't reach the level that these guys have reached because these guys are willing to do what is necessary. See, leaders, if you want to be a leader, you have to first lead yourself. And daily rituals force you to lead yourself. right?
Yeah, no, exactly, exactly. Rituals, the quality of your rituals are the quality of your life. So now getting back into rituals, do you have any evening rituals that you do? I know you like to plan out your day, but just, you know, any other rituals that you kind of go throughout your day?
Well, for me, I might go over what after go over what did I accomplish today.
Hmm.
You know, because once you set up a a list of tasks, and there's no better feeling than completion when you finish the race. Um, and I feel like oftentimes what we do as human beings, we set goals,
Yeah.
but we don't even finish the race. We're happy if we miss the target, So I feel really good if I completed not only my daily tasks, but got a
Yeah.
couple things knocked out for the week. So what about you? What nightly rituals do you have?
Well, I guess nightly rituals I have. I'm not much of a TV guy. I think one of the rituals that I kind of got into is just YouTube self-education. So,
Mm.
I will consume some, video content, TV with, I wouldn't call it TV, but it's tailored to what um, is my kind of interests or my something that actually maybe has something even to do with my kind of business interest. So I'll watch videos on like the stock market. You know what I mean? I might watch some videos on, maybe like a sales video or a video on like AI, or if there's like a new interview with like, Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or somebody like that, a leader in some space. I'll Bill Gates. I'll listen to that. So just trying to soak up as much intelligence as I can during that time. So that's kind of a YouTubing ritual that I have. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. But when you know what I mean? I don't TV and Netflix. There's not enough of the type of stuff I'm looking for on there. So that's one ritual I have. And then evening time, I'll read something spiritual. So like a famous spiritual book, I've got 112 Meditations by Osho. I've got that 2 years ago. I still haven't finished it. It's the biggest book I've ever owned, and I've read many books in between. But so that would be the kind of second one, the reading of spiritual content in the evening, and then right before I go to bed, I will check my list for the next day as well, kind of programming the subconscious mind. So those would be my evening rituals.
And so with that's awesome. That's awesome. So do you we're all humans, so I know it happens sometimes you're not able to do that. Do you see the difference in yourself when you're able to do and not to do? I mean, what's that difference that do you see
With the
in
rituals
your
and
like
not doing the
let's
rituals.
yeah, let's say one day you didn't do any of your rituals and you just got right off to running. I mean, do you see a difference in your day? Are you kind of pretty tuned in now where you're just doing these every day, or do you miss a couple of days and
Well,
how does that make you
there
flow?
it is 100%. There is a difference. The mind is a wild thing, and time. I mean, anytime you want to conquer something, you cannot fight something that you can't see or something that doesn't exist. You can't fight an invisible ghost, and you can't fight time. Time is non-physical. You know what I mean? So the only way to defeat time is to make it physical, to write it down, to make a schedule. Once you bring it into the physical dimension, now you can defeat it. So you have to manage your time. And if you're winging it, if you haven't planned something out, time is going to escape your grasps because you haven't made it physical. You're not able to see a schedule. You're not able to, you know, battle it through your kind of with your body and your mind. I don't, that was a pretty, spiritual type explanation, but yes, you definitely see a difference. You will burn your time, you'll waste your time, and the mind just loves to escape onto things that you've been holding it back from. So
Yeah. One
100%.
thing that one thing that you brought to the forefront of my mind, I think you gave it as a task to do either last week or a couple weeks ago.
Hmm.
Um, is when you meditate, get a piece of paper out and write down and begin to organize your thoughts. Just write down everything on your mind. So I actually did that today. In the middle of the day. I so when I'm really on top of my game. You know, I'm not only just doing it in the morning and doing something at night. I might do something and step aside in the middle of the day. You know, because sometimes in the middle of the day is really when it's up and it's like, okay, hey, I need to, organize my thoughts. You know, what it boils down is to, right, especially right now, and there's so much knowledge and information
Yeah.
and just misinformation coming everyone's way, is we have to pretty much be our own mental health therapists.
Yeah. No, it all starts with you. If you're constantly looking for someone else for support, you know, if it's a therapist, you know, you're gonna go bankrupt because
Yeah.
you're paying a lot for that,
Yeah. I
when you
met some great therapists too, but I met some really screwed up ones. Like
yeah.
I'm a physical trainer, so I met some ones that are like, you're a therapist, huh?
It must be very therapeutic for them to give someone else therapy, to give somebody else therapy. That's their therapy, that they're doing, screwing you up. You know what I mean? Can't wait. Just their morning routine starts on you. You know what I mean? Reprogramming you and messing you up like that. But yeah, all therapy has to start with you. You have to conquer that inner dimension. Um, so yeah, you know what I mean? Your rituals, you have to conquer yourself to set any new ritual, or you will continue to do the same behavior. If you, like I said, come home and the first thing you do is grab a beer, you're going to have to change what that ritual is. And the only reason that we do rituals is because we like the outcome. Like, you go to the gym, you hate how you feel in the gym, you drag yourself home, you get in the shower and you relax later on in the evening and you're like, hey man, I actually feel great. You know what I mean? I'm breathing real good. I'm so relaxed now. And you hated the ritual itself, but you just loved the effect.
Yeah.
So when you want to change rituals, you kind of got to gut it out a little bit, because you hate the new ritual, but you love the effect. So you just got to wait until then you just start craving that effect. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I want to be so relaxed tonight. I'm going to go to the gym. And then it becomes a ritual. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? When you're chasing the outcome, and you don't care what you have to do to get that, right? And then it
Yeah.
becomes programmed. It's like an addiction.
Yeah. Yeah. It's surely like an addiction. In
Yeah.
this, yeah. In this, but that's the power of having a routine, because you can recondition your mind and you can program yourself for ultimate success.
That is the power of the human mind, is that we can change it, and at any time input new information. It's just a calculator, and our spirit is operating it. You know what I mean? But if you put the same numbers into a calculator every day, you put 5, 5, and 8, you're always going to have 18. All of a sudden, when
Yeah.
you use the numbers, meaning change your rituals and put some new stimulus into that device of yours called the mind, you get a new result. And you know what I mean?
That's the most beautiful thing about being about a human being, though. A turtle got to be a turtle.
Yeah.
Uh, an elephant got to be an elephant. A human being can literally make up its mind
Yeah.
and be whatever they want to be.
Yeah, no, for every creature on the planet, God has programmed them with instructions, except man. Man is the only one that has the option to be what he wants to be. It's choose your own adventure. You can do whatever you want, which is why, if when we become a slave to our desires and we just live to our lowest potential, that's why it's truly is a waste. You know what I mean? It's a gift to be a human being, because, hey, man, you could have been like a dog or something like that. You know what I mean? Or a worm. You're a human being. You owe it to humanity to live to your highest potential. One thing I always say is take a look at all, maybe I haven't said it to somebody, but it's one thing I know is when you look at all these incredible things around us, you look at the light bulb, you look at the computer, the iPhone, how hard Steve Jobs had to work to create the iPhone, or, you know, uh, or Edison to create the light bulb. These are extraordinary men and women that have gone to extraordinary efforts to give us these devices. So you're using your cell phone, you're enjoying the light bulb. Just remember that someone had to do something extraordinary, work extremely hard to create that. And here you are living a lazy life. You know what I mean? So you live in the
Yeah.
luxury of the feats of extraordinary people, but you refuse to be
Mm.
extraordinary yourself,
Mm.
riding the
Yeah.
coattails of humanity. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a
Yeah.
harsh point of view.
Woo, that's a tongue lashing right there.
It was, but I mean, it's a
That-
way to look at it. You know what I mean? And just say, I too need to be the greatest me as well. You know what I mean? I didn't come here to just enjoy
yes,
myself, right?
yes, yes. No, you definitely right.
So what's the difference between people who chase their dreams and people who don't chase their dreams? You know, what do you got to do to turn it around besides getting yourself some rich? What's the turning point? You know what I mean? What would you tell someone who is
Man,
just nothing's going their way, you know, just some very basic information?
well, they say, I did a speaking engagement maybe 2, 3 months ago, and after I got done speaking, a guy approached me. He said, "Your words you said up there was really powerful,
Yeah.
and we need to have coffee sometime." He
Hmm.
said, and then I gave him a couple more quotes. I said, "Yeah, I love a good quote."
Yeah.
And he said, "Hey, I got one for you." He says, there was these two twins. They were born on the same day. One built the Empire State Building, and the other one ended up being a homeless bum. What separated the two?
Well,
A thought.
a thought.
A thought. I
There
said,
you
"Wow,
go.
that's powerful." They both had this. They both started off the same way. A thought. So I mean, there's a great book. It's called "As a Man Thinketh," and it's all in the mind, man. A person can literally, if they have that, where they say, "Hey, man, if I need to change my thoughts," their life will change immediately. You talking about overnight? You talking about, like, a good example is the movie Aladdin. His life changed overnight when he found the genie. He found the lamp. He found the lamp in the cave of wonders, which is your mind. Your mind is the cave of wonders. You know,
Yeah.
can you go deep inside yourself and find the jewels? Remember, it was all had all these jewels around it, but he said, "Go get the lamp," and then he said, "Be careful what you wish for." You know, be careful what you wish for. When you go into these thoughts and these deep, don't just wish for vain things. Because some people they don't look at the whole picture. Well, I want to be rich. Well, what comes with being rich? Is it just going to show you the filthiness inside yourself? It might show you the good inside yourself, because money is not evil. It is a magnifier. So whatever you already are, money is going to magnify that, right? So that's like, now,
Yeah.
how can I be
100%.
intentional about my thoughts to make sure that they align with the universal purpose? Like you
Yes.
say, don't ride the coattail of humanity. Somebody created the light. What am I here for? Now that I'm thinking right, how can I align my thought with the purpose so I can serve why I'm making or come why I'm living and walking this path?
How can I find in kind of the in the Hindu or yogic cultures, we call that dharma. Dharma is your spiritual path. You know what I mean? You are made to follow some path, and I truly believe it. There's some people out there, they were made to cook. Amazing chefs, they understand flavors. Some people were just made to play the piano. Some people were just made to sing. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? We all have a
yeah,
unique talent. And if we're not
yeah.
following that talent, that is, a true a true waste. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we've got to unleash that purpose into the world and serve humanity with it. You know what I mean? A lot of people, I wonder what's the purpose of life? And some people may say, oh, to find God, or to find yourself, or there is no purpose in life. Well, there is, you know what I mean? If you say there's no purpose, well, there's no purpose. Life didn't come with instructions, but there are some secrets and mysteries out there that, over thousands of years we've discovered about ourselves. We're creatures of expansion. We always want more. We are creatures that feel, we only feel content, really most content, when we serve others, if you
Yeah.
really look at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, how can I serve other people with my
How can I
talent
serve?
and expand
Yeah.
that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Anything can be a talent, like I think Martin Luther King said it. He said, if you're a janitor, sweep that floor like no one's ever swept a floor before. A janitor makes so much of an impact on the kid's life at the school. I mean,
Yeah.
just so many ways to give back at whatever that you do. And you said something interesting that caught my attention just now. You said something, oh, my purpose is to find God. How could you try to find the creator, as if he's hiding under a rock somewhere?
Yeah.
If you open up your eyes, he's, he's here. I'm just,
Yeah.
I mean, but
Yeah.
people say these things because it's kind of based out of tradition, and they heard somebody else say, what are you trying to find?
I get you. I get you. And if someone looks for God and then they say they found God, you know what I mean? Like they actually found him somewhere, then you're
Yeah.
truly crazy. You know what I mean? There then you've lost your mind. Or I'm talking to God. If you say I had a conversation with God last night, well, you've truly lost it there. You know what I mean? There's, you know what I mean? I've heard people say that.
Yeah, it's just
A
like
conversation with yourself. You know what I mean?
yeah, get out of that tradition and get out of those ways of thinking. I mean, because if you think about, the creator, why would, they say, why would he forsake you? Why would he go somewhere and just hide?
Yeah.
If you don't need to look for him. So you don't really even need to look for your purpose nowhere but within you. Like we talked
Everything
about,
is within us. You know what I
everything's
mean?
within the cave of wonders.
The
You got to
creator
go deep
constantly
inside the
guides
cave of
us.
one.
I
Yeah.
believe that the creator constantly guides us. You know what I mean? Maybe it's not, maybe, you know what I mean, not physically in front of us, but we're connected to a divineness. You know what I mean? Call it
Oh yeah.
consciousness, call it whatever you want. And that's why we can be anything you want, because the mind, I mean, with a computer, how you upgrade the computer, you upgrade the software. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden it does what you want. But your mind, you can't just upgrade the software. You got to do it yourself. You know what I mean? And we're connected to this divine, dimension where we have like this thought process where we can make decisions. You know what I mean? And that's how we upgrade ourselves, through the building of our consciousness. You know what I mean? Through what reflecting on a situation and truly determining what's right and wrong. You know what I mean? Is this my path in life? Is this the right religion for me? Is this the right job for me? Is this the right partner for me? What do I truly want? What gives me great happiness? You know what I mean? That's the only way we can upgrade ourselves, through that mindfulness. Or just, no one can do it for you. You've got to be alone. You can, whether you're sipping a coffee, whether you're jogging like Bruce Lee and going into a
Yeah.
meditation, but you've got to be deep in your mind
Yeah.
to start change. The decision's got to come from inside.
You got it. Yeah. You got it, man. I'm looking at the man in the mirror and I'm asking him to make a change. Michael Jackson, that came full circle, because I was going to bring up Michael earlier, because you said there's some people that are just meant to come here and do a particular thing,
Yeah.
and he was meant to sing. And I don't think anybody can argue that and perform,
And dance.
you know, and dance. He was just a performer. This man was a musical genius. They would talk about him teaching somebody how to play an instrument that he didn't even know how to play himself.
Wow.
That is just bizarre to even think of that. But I digress. In that man in the mirror, you know, that man in the mirror, that reflection of self is all you need to really get to understand if you really want to rise. You know, what things am I throwing in my own path and in my own way that are causing me not to be successful like I should be and get the success I deserve in life?
That's a really good question. That's a really good question. And we know that the number one thing that holds most people back is fear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fear of,
Just fear.
fear of, if I go back to school, am I going to fail? Am I not going to be able to manage my school and work life? Am I going to run out of money? Fear of, if I leave my job, am I going to find another job? You know what I mean? If I set this goal, am I going to achieve this goal, or am I going to give up?
You know, I practice a drill, and we'll have this in our course too as well, and go even deeper than this. Is write all them fears down on a paper in front of you when you make your goal.
Yeah.
Okay, hey, I'm going back to the gym. You know, I fear what people think. I fear that I'm not going to do it right. I fear getting hurt. I fear that of being judged. I fear that, whatever it might be. Write it all down on one side of a piece of paper, and then write down what's going to help you overcome those fears. You have to face that. You know, you have to face that to overcome it. You know, and that's a good drill if you're talking about having a ritual in the morning. You know, if you're just new to this and you just started to make some goals, sit down and write out your fears and really face them and see how much they are not even your projections, they're society projections. I fear what somebody else thinks. All those are not even coming out of you. They're coming from somebody else, and you're putting them out like they're yours and throwing them in your road. You know, oh, that girl, she's not going to go out on a date with me. Well, she smiles at you every time she sees you. She won't stop shutting up talking to you for 2-3 hours. I think she's going to say no if I ask her. You know, that's what your mind's going to
Fear of rejection.
Fear of rejection.
It's fear. And it hasn't even happened. So you fear that which does not even exist. You know, take 99 things that you've ever feared, exalted one, and probably, 98 of them didn't happen. So basically what you do majority of the time, you fear that which does not even exist. You can't fight something or deal with something that doesn't exist. It's like you're kind of punching at a ghost or something like that. You're not going to do anything. You know what I mean? It's like trying to roll through the day without a schedule. So basically, you're just creating these horror stories or movies in your mind. That's what you're doing. You know what I mean? That's what fear is. You're making your own horror movies. You know what I mean? It's like Nightmare on Elm Street or whatever, all again, you know what I mean? Paranormal Activity. And the thing about your fears is you're the only one experiencing them. You know what I mean? No one else can experience your fears. They're your own personal fears. And they don't even exist. You're just imagining what might happen.
Yeah.
And you're letting that take a hold of you and, destroy your future or stop you from making that move. You imagine the result.
Which is just powerful. And oftentimes, if you go deep, it's not, like I say, it's not even based off of you. It's based off of something you might have even seen off of TV.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just like, it ain't real, man. What's real is what's real is your goals.
I get you. You know what I mean? And exalted one, what I said was, fear is, you're creating horror movies in your mind and nobody's watching but you, right? So that's not a very good movie if you're the only guy watching it and nobody else is watching it. It's a horrible movie.
Yes.
It sucks for you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're a
You're
horrible
like,
producer. You're a horrible director, directing these horrible movies that you just keep watching by yourself.
man, nobody else even wants to see it. Except
No
everybody's
one
waiting
wants
for
to
the
see
real
it.
show to come on. That's for you to come online. Everybody's waiting for that. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
how
Exactly.
many
So,
people? How many people are waiting for you to come online? I want you to think about that. I want you to really to pause and think about how many people are waiting for you to come online and take action towards your goals and towards your vision. How many people are waiting for your book? How many people are waiting for you to inspire and motivate them like you should? How many
yeah,
people? How many millions of people are waiting on you? Are you going to let them die because you were so afraid of nothing?
exactly. If you're going to imagine a future that's positive for you. Why do you always need to imagine a negative outcome? You've just got into a negative pattern if that's what you're doing. And that's the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people, really,
Yeah.
is
There's some
being,
people that say, go ahead.
I was just going to say, being able to imagine yourself winning or having that
Yeah.
positive outcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that comes from having a belief in yourself,
Yeah.
right? And everybody loses. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan misses shots. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Mike Tyson got knocked out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Certain politicians lost the election, but confidence means that when I lose or when things don't go the way that I thought they would, I have what it takes to take a lesson from that and improve and go beyond that. Confidence comes from the ability to overcome obstacles. It doesn't matter what the obstacle is. If someone throws just the craziest obstacle in front of you, the confidence to say that I'm going to find a way around it, that mentality, you know what I mean? That I will
Find one.
not take no for an answer.
Yeah. I had went through uh, sort of a transformation, and I was a transformation, mental transformation, and I was on my way home in the morning for my lunch break, and on this way home, I encountered a train.
Yeah.
So as the train was coming, I turned around and I took a route that I hadn't taken before.
Yeah.
And on that route, I had fallen to a dead end. I said, this is interesting. But then I found a way, and then I ended up finally getting my way home, maneuvering, making my way home. I said, it's interesting because right before my eyes, I had a chance to see what life was going to try to throw me with my new mind. And what I immediately said to myself, I said, always find a way. There's always a way. You got
Yeah.
to be relentless, always wanting to find a way,
Show
shaking and
up.
moving. And you just got to find a way. There's a way,
Never give
there's a
up,
way.
man. It reminds me of that movie Tom Cruise, The Last Samurai, where like three samurais got him cornered and he's on the ground rolling around, and I don't know what he takes, like just some pipe or like with a jagged edge, and he just from his back on the ground with this guy standing over him about to sword him, he just stabs the guy in the neck with a pipe. And the other two samurais just say, you know what? After watching their own samurai get killed, 3-on-1, the other two samurais say, you know what? Don't kill him. You know what I mean? this
Yeah,
this man has something. He's not an ordinary man.
yeah,
He's killed so many of us, and now he's on the ground. We've got him 3-on-1, a sword about to go through him, and he still killed our guy from his back.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm,
Never give up. You know what I mean? That John Cena, that attitude where you just don't take no for an answer. And a lot of
yeah,
that's just showing up.
yeah.
Iron
Just
will.
showing up. That's man, and that's what will happen in your life when you take that step forward and you say, "Hey, I'm going to set these things in motion. I'm going to make sure my day's set. I got these routine that I'm going to follow." And once once your routine, once your day sees that you're ready for it,
Yeah.
them other two things gonna give up. You know, like you
There you
say,
go,
when he
man.
hit that samurai in that neck, the other two guys said, "Hey, this guy ain't
We
nothing
ain't
to
even
fool.
gonna take a chance with
This
this guy
guy,
now.
yeah, this guy ain't
He
nothing to
took
joke
what's
with."
up 3-1. He killed one of our guys. Now it's 2-1. You know,
Yeah,
he's now it's going to be even easier for him. But yeah, bro, man, it's been a great episode right now. I think we're coming to the very end here.
yeah.
Do you want to give our viewers a tip for the week? You know what I mean? Like I gave one last week. I know you've been talking a lot about goals and visualizing and morning and evening rituals. You know, what do you think the single best ritual is for our
Um,
viewers to take on?
I can't say best because everybody is unique,
Sure.
but what I can tell you is find one that works for you. You know, we can always give you advice and help you, but it's an individual journey. So a ritual that might work for somebody else might not work for the other person. You need to find what work for you. You know, whether it's listening to the music in the morning, you know, maybe getting up and just dancing, you know, and putting yourself in a good mood. Because when you're dancing, you be up in a good mood. So, you know, doing something that works, listening to classical music. Maybe it's, you know, going for that jog. Maybe it's meditating for 5 to 10 minutes. Find something that works for you and allows you to begin to grow and
Yeah.
for allows you to begin to be ready for battle, you know, ready for your day, ready for your business, ready for your relationships, ready for your loved one. Find something that is unique for you, write it down, make it a habit in your life, and watch it work for you.
Write it down. I like that. I like that. Awesome, bro, man. Well, it's been a blast on the 5th episode. Might have been, you know, the best one we had. I had a great time. And, you know, I know you've got a long weekend. So, you know, wish you a happy long weekend if you're even taking one, or whether you're hustling through it. I don't know. But
It's always a hustle, man. It's always a grind.
is always a grind. It's always a grind. But, you know, this has been the Brahman and Bruhman podcast. I'm Yogi Infinite. This is Brahman, the Exalted One. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.